But before we go too much further, I want to call up Anil V of Red Boxing to share about the vision of the Global Boxing Organization. Anil.
Good evening, everyone. I am Anil of Red Boxing. First and foremost, I'd like to thank everybody for coming and gracing our event tonight. So I'm tasked to give you the mission and values of Global Boxing Organization. The GBO, or Global Boxing Organization, is a professional governing body that believes in maintaining the highest level of professionalism, honest transparency, and integrity. The GBO ensures all fighters have an equal opportunity to excel in the sport and fight for a championship title. The GBO is effective, efficient in the regulation of title fight, contracts, and title fight opportunities. The GBO focuses on increasing the fighters' champion popularity by promoting and marketing them to the highest level, putting fighters in position to fight for a championship title. One of the values of GBO is to be the leader in professionalism and provide leadership necessary for the fighter's success. The use of effective resolutions of boxing disputes involved in professional boxing matters, provided a clear picture and defines a powerful and motivating vision designed to produce a great outcome. So thank you so much, and I hope you will have a great night for tonight, and you have all your questions ready for our panels. Thank you.
Thank you, Neil. And now, I want to introduce you to a man with a vision and a burning desire to make big things happen. Representing the third generation of the Almirante boxing family of the Philippines, he continues the family legacy, which was begun by his late grandfather, the famed Filipino boxing promoter, Dr. Antonio Almirante, and continued by his uncle, the former world super featherweight champion, Rene Barrientos, and by his uncle, Carlos Almirante, the former Games and Amusement Board director from 1992 to 2014, and by his own father, Reynaldo Rades Sr., also a boxing promoter and manager in the 1980s. Here he is, Red Boxing promoter and GBO owner, Mr. Ray Almirante Rades. I understand there will be some major dignitaries at Davao.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I know this is a short notice. So what we are trying to do here, 44 years ago, Don King came to the Philippines that was dubbed as Thrilla in Manila. He brought Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier to fight under the regime of the Marcoses. So now, 44 years later, we want to bring the second heavyweight fight in the Philippines. Why heavyweight? And why is it China versus USA? We have to do it because we want to make a world peace. We want to use this platform for 2 countries or 3 countries to fight in the battle in the ring rather than fighting in the battle on the ground. So Philippines will be the battleground between the Chinese guy, Mr. Wu, and Mr. Johnson here in the United States. We would like to have an all-out support from everyone in this room and for those people who listen in their houses and watching us on Facebook or any social media outlet. So we need your support to bring the message and to tell the people that we are bringing peace to the world for this fight. Thank you very much, and I'll reserve the questions later.
Like I said, he has a burning desire to do big things. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what I want to do now is I want to talk to you about how we're going to proceed with the questions from the panel. We're going to first introduce each of the people on the panel to you, and then we'll begin taking questions. What we'd like to do is we'd like to limit those questions to 2 questions per person asking at one time, so before we pass the microphone on to the next questioner. And so you can ask one question of one panelist, and then the second question of another panelist, or you can ask your two questions of the same panelist. Okay, so and also, before you ask your question, we'd like you to state your name, what organization you're representing, and to whom your question is directed. So let me introduce to you first, here on the end. She is Adelaida, also known as Delilah La Cobra Ruiz. She boxes in the bantamweight division and stands 5 feet 6 inches tall. From Linwood, California, BoxRec ranks her #1 in the nation and #9 in the world. She is undefeated with 7 wins, and she won her first 3 bouts by unanimous decisions and her last 4 by knockout. Out of Casillas Boxing Gym, she will fight on June 15th at the Pico Rivera Sports Arena. Delilah La Cobra Ruiz. And next, Adan Themo Ochoa, 21 years old. He is the reigning GBO World Youth Featherweight Champion, standing 5 feet 8 from Compton, California. BoxRec ranks him #49 in the nation. His record, 9 wins, 1 loss, 4 wins by way of knockout. He won his last 7 straight, boxing out of Maywood Boxing Club. In his first title defense last month on Red Boxing's Supremacy Showdown Road to Glory card held at Pico Rivera Sports Arena, he won all 6 rounds on the judges' scorecards, recording a unanimous decision victory over a very experienced boxer from Sacramento, California, and retaining his title belt. He will look to defend his GBO World Youth Featherweight title belt once again, June 15th at the Pico Rivera Sports Arena. Adan Themo Ochoa. And Angel El Moreno Rodriguez. He's 19 years old. He boxes in the lightweight division. He stands 5 feet 10 and comes to us from Pico Rivera, California. His record, 2 wins, no losses, 1 win by way of knockout. Representing Last Round Boxing Club. After winning his pro debut by a unanimous decision, he followed it up with an even more impressive and convincing knockout victory at 2 minutes, 25 seconds of the very first round of the co-main event at last month's Red Boxing Supremacy Showdown Road to Glory. You definitely don't want to miss his next fight at the Pico Rivera Sports Arena on June 15th. And you met the man with the vision. We move on now to Omari Braxton. He is Ron Johnson's manager. Their management company is TPTB Management. They are reciprocal managers, which means they each manage the other. Omari is 36 years old and stands 6 feet 1 from Cleveland, Ohio. He boxes in the cruiserweight division and is undefeated with 4 wins and no defeats. 3 wins by way of knockout. He will be moving up, though, to the heavyweight division for his next fight on May 11th in Cleveland, Ohio. Ladies and gentlemen, Omari Braxton. We do have 2 more panelists that are not with us yet that I know of. So we're going to start now with the questioning of the panelists we do have. So first to ask a question, right here in the middle.
Nate Ryan, the Fighter's Voice.
I'm Nate Ryan of the Fighter's Voice. Omari, what do you think this fight for Ronald Johnson means? It's the first heavyweight world title fight since Muhammad Ali and Frazier over there. What do you think this means to him?
So, very, very, very important fight. It's history to make. First big major fight like this in the Philippines, and Ray brought it to us, and we wanted to take advantage of the offer and making history. And going to be a really good showdown in the league. Glad to be part of it.
Thank you. And my next question is to Aiden. Will you be dancing with the robot again in your next fight?
That wasn't me, that was the other one.
Still put on a hell of a show. Will you be dancing with the giant robot in your next fight?
That's kind of easy. I don't dance, I just fight.
You definitely win your fights for sure.
Thank you.
Who's next? Next. Who has a question? Right here.
Hello, my name is Benny Uy, in behalf of the Filipino-American Press Club of California, and as president of the said club, I really like to welcome GBO and Ray Ortiz and Anil and all the boxers here. And they are, of course, they will be featuring in the trailer of Manila. Trailer of Davao?
Davao.
Oh, yeah, okay. Anyway, well, we all know that there are four sanctioning body in boxing, right? WBC, IBF, WBO, and WBO. Okay, so I wonder how soon are we going to see GBO to be recognized as one of the sanctioning bodies?
Hello. GBO has been around for 5 years now. I acquired GBO last year of November from in North Sacramento. It was built. So the question is, how are we gonna get the GBO to the world, right? So now we are doing a lot of shows lately. We have done already 2 championships in the Philippines, done by manager Wawi Adan Lalanto. They fought for the Asian title, and we also did it in Bukidnon, Philippines, another Asian title. And we have done a lot of title fights here in the United States as well. So, being recognized, I just want to set the story straight, you know. A belt is a belt. When you say GBO, WBC, WBA, people are just putting names on it that they are recognized or they are the sanctioned belts. They are the most famous belt, but a belt is just a belt. What makes a belt is fighters like this. If we have good fighters on that belt will become more popular. That's why we will have Temo, who has been defending the title, we'll have Adelaida Luis, and we'll have Angel Moreno, who's gonna carry the belt for GBO, and also Ron Johnson.
Thank you. Anyway, I'm sorry, but what I want to say, okay, in the past, we've been supporting one boxer, right, Manny Pacquiao. Everybody knows him. Now, I think we should really support a Filipino-American promoter, Ray. And we can.
Let me answer that. What we are trying to do, like Red Boxing, because I also own Red Boxing and I own GBO. What Red Boxing is really trying to do is we try to open the world. When we say the world, Asia is part of the world. The biggest problem the Asian people does is coming here to the United States for visa purposes. There are Indonesian fighters who are really good, Malaysian fighters, Filipino fighters, Japanese fighters, Korean fighters around the globe who cannot come here because they have visa issue. With GBO, they're gonna use GBO to be to win the title, and GBO will give them an opportunity to challenge the champions here in the United States as well. With those invitations, it will not guarantee them to get the visa, but it will give them a better chance of having the visa given by the U.S. Embassy.
Next question.
Right here in the middle, lady in the middle.
Hi there. Hi, good afternoon. First and foremost, hats off to you. This is quality right here. When we talk about sanctioning groups, I think you're doing a phenomenal job.
Can you tell us your name? And
Mercedes Simmons with Pretty Girl Promotions and Atlantic Sports. So I applaud you. You have quality right there. My question is going to be to Adelaida. You're the top female. Amazing. I was starstruck to meet her. But do you have an idea of who your opponent is for this fight?
It's a battle in that.
It's a fighter from Mexico, Tijuana, Mexico. She's 2-0. She's undefeated at the moment. Mirka Aguayo, I believe that's her name.
And do you see her? I mean, you've seen the likes of Christy Martin tied to certain fighters. Do you see her as being the lead of your sanctioning group and your promotion company?
Adelaida?
Yes.
Absolutely. That's why she's here.
Okay. Congratulations.
And the reason we chose Miss Aguelo because she just defeated a Japanese contender with a lot of experience. She had 11 fights and 4 losses. So being a new to, she only had like 2 fights, but then she defeated a good fighter, a veteran fighter. So I think it would be a good matchup for Miss La Cobra as a battle of the border. 2 undefeated fighters, 2 hungry fighters who's gonna be there out to get each other. And we're putting, female fighters is done differently from male fighters. So usually when you're female, you should be a world champion with 6-8 fights. So we are putting the vacant continental champion on this championship on this fight for the GBO.
Hi, my name is Arnold. My question is for the fighters. 2 questions to each and every one of you. One, how important is it to represent where you're from? You can answer that question. The second question is, can you talk about your training and your workout that you go through on a weekly basis? How's your training?
Well, I would say it's very important to have your city on your back. Everyone, local people supporting you because without support, we won't go anywhere. So the people that push us and help us, the people around us, our community. So I think it's very important to have that support. Second question. Me, I train real hard. I train 4 times a day. Thanking my sponsors to help me, so I don't have to work. I dedicate my time to boxing, working out, training. I'll wake up in the morning, go for a run, go to the boxing gym, train, spar, then hit strength conditioning later in the afternoon, and then finish off my night with a run. Pretty much how I do it. Like you said, yeah, it is very important to, give somebody, they representing you, representing the city behind you, representing a lot of people. Me, myself, I like to think of it, me representing the younger kids, give them something to have faith and dreams in, So, and your second question, is just training really hard. You gotta have discipline, you gotta be dedicated to everything, and it's just, this whole boxing is not just a sport, it's a lifestyle, and you gotta have your diet, your nutritionist. It's a lot more to it than a lot of people think.
So it's important to me to represent where I come from because I'm not only representing the USA, I'm also representing Mexico, and not only Mexico and the USA, but I also represent women's boxing. So it's very important for me to just be out there and show, the next generation that anything is possible. And I'm very blessed and that I have the support I have now from the supporters, because without them, like they said, pretty much it's nothing. I am a full-time mom. I am a full-time. I work full-time and I train as well. So, but I do get up every morning to go run. I go to work, get out of work, go to the gym, do my strength and conditioning, just like we do. And it was very important, because once we get up there in the ring, we're just not boxing, but we're putting our life out there. So it's very important to, this is serious, it's just very serious. And
Okay. I represent Cleveland, Ohio. I normally, so I'm a businessman also. So I run a boxing gym in the city of Cleveland. I give back to the youth and train some of the kids. Within my training, I have some of the kids come in and train with me. I've been in the sport now for about 24 years total, and boxing is what I love to do. Anybody got questions?
Right here. Thank you.
So we mentioned Adam Woods of According to Woods podcast. So Omari, you and Ronald have a unusual agreement that you guys kind of push each other towards success, right? How did you guys come to that agreement? Usually we hear about egos in all sports, so it's kind of unique that kind of the connection that you guys have. How did you guys come to that agreement?
Me and Ron have been friends for over 20 years, so I've been knowing him since he was about 10 years old, and I'm a few years older than him. And we, it's mainly about trust. You got to be able to trust somebody. And he trusted me, but I was always going to make the right decision for him. And basically, I trusted him, and he's always going to make the right decision for me as well.
Oh, that's tremendous. Now, for the younger members of the dais, what does it mean to you that Red Promotions and GBO have essentially put their stock into you so early in your guys' career?
Well, first off, I want to thank Ray. He gave me my first opportunity to make my debut. They were thinking about sending me to Mexico, and Ray, came and gave me the opportunity to fight here. So I'm forever grateful, to Ray and Red Boxing. I really love the promotion. It's really awesome people, And I'm looking forward to winning titles right here with GBO one day.
That's tremendous.
It means a lot to me. They building as a company. They're not no small company. You can tell they ain't nothing. They're making an impact, just like these other promotion companies. They're actually doing something with their fighters, and I'm building them, and they're building me. It works for both of us.
I'm very grateful with Ray and the organization. I'm truly blessed, and I'm looking forward to making him proud that, he's believing in me, that I'm going to take the GBO title somewhere. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Lawrence Mejia at usualspice.com. This question is from Delilah. Delilah, we just seen the highly anticipated matchup between Shields and Hammer a few weekends ago. What are your thoughts on the current state of women's boxing? Or just what are your thoughts about women's boxing right now in general?
In general, I see that the women boxing, there's more supporters now than before. I'm happy that it's going higher than before. And they're giving us the opportunity to show our skills out there, and hopefully, they continue supporting the women boxing, just like they did with Clarissa Shields and Hammer.
Thank you. My second question is for Adam. Being from Compton, can you talk to us about any hurdles that you may have had to encounter in making your dream of become a boxer come true?
What was that?
Like any hurdles that you faced coming from where you are from to make your dream of becoming a boxer come true?
Oh man, I've seen a lot of things over there. I've seen people get stabbed, I've seen people get shot. That just, some people will get scared of all that, but at the end of the day, it made me a stronger person.
Thank you.
you were answering the questions, but you were very interesting to me because you are a woman, boxer, it girls, entertainment, and then you said you were a mom. So that really stuck out to me because I wanted to know like what your daily training was like, and like if you were a mom or a wife, and like how you find balance in that. Because us as women, we're always giving, and having to find that balance I know is very hard. So I wanted to hear your voice on that.
Honestly, it's really hard. It's complicated at the beginning. You know, I was impatient. I just, you know, I didn't have the patience for it, but it's more of a routine. You know, I became very OCD with my time, so it's like a schedule. You know,
like anal, gotta be anal.
Yes, because if I'm 10 minutes late to something, I'm gonna be 10 minutes late for my next, you know, routine. But yeah, I am a full-time mom. I work full-time. I am a single parent. I have 3 kids.
I was sitting here when you were saying that earlier. I was like, oh my God, I love her.
Thank you.
So it's so thank you. I was just like, I appreciate everyone up here, and I'm listening to everyone's story. And this is even very new for me, boxing. I'm not, but I came here, and I'm happy I did, and I'm learning as I'm sitting here. But you. Like, I know you have your goals, but the woman boxer, that's like A1 right there. It is hard.
Thank you. It's really hard, but anything's possible.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Anything,
anything. Yes.
Who's next?
I'm Luis for Televisión Deportes. I have 2 questions for Spanish, for your fans, for your family from Mexico, Adelaida, and everybody for the Angel. And Adán. So, esa es mi primera pregunta. ¿Te has unido a nueva promotora Red Boxing Promotion? ¿Es la oportunidad que tú estabas buscando, Adelaida? ¿Qué esperamos de ti en tus siguientes peleas?
En mis siguientes peleas van a ver mucho más, van a mirar una cobra diferente. Estoy entrenando muy diferente a mis anteriores peleas. Espero estar más fuerte, más rápido. Van a mirar a alguien diferente.
Ángel, para la gente que te sigue, bueno, en español, tienes 2 peleas, debutaste bajo la tutela del Rey, tienes 2 peleas, 2 ganadas, vas a tener una siguiente pelea. ¿Cómo representas o qué representa para ti estar dentro del Red Boxing Promotion?
Pues primero quiero darle gracias a todos que me están apoyando. Y estar con Red Promotion, como dije, me gusta mucho la promoción y siempre voy a estar agradecido con Ray porque me dio una oportunidad que no sabemos si otras compañías nos dan esa oportunidad. So, siempre voy a estar agradecido con él y pues, vamos a llevar Red Boxing a otro nivel.
Thank you. Any questions?
Over here.
My name is Ivy. I'm with Quick on Boxing. I do have to ask, where do your nicknames come from?
Yeah, so I love that question because it actually, my nickname means a lot to me. My grandfather, he was out in Nayarit. My family's from Nayarit, and my grandpa, he was one of my number 1 supporters. He always called me and asked how I was doing, how boxing was going, and unfortunately, last year before I was going to debut, we had plans of debuting in Mexico so they can see me fight. He passed away, and his nickname out there was El Moreno, and the day of his funeral, I decided to inherit it, and besides, inheriting his name, I think it fits me pretty well, but yeah, that's one of my nicknames.
My nickname comes from my middle name. Not a lot of people were able to pronounce my middle name. It's kind of long. And it has a lot of meaning behind it. Cuauhtemoc. It's from Mexico. And you know, they just, ever since I was little, they would always call me Temo for short.
So I've been boxing since I was 12 years old, and since I started boxing, they always said that I was like a cobra. I was fast and dangerous and deadly. That's where it came from.
And then one more question. I know since Delilah mentioned that she's a mom, I'm wondering if anyone else is a parent. Conor McGregor, he talked about how, you know, he didn't realize having a son would actually even change how he would fight. It pushed him even more. So I want to know if you are a parent, like, has it changed you as a fighter?
To me, it has, because my 3 kids actually looked up to me. You know, I love it when they tell me, you know, my mom is strong, my mom's gonna beat her, my mom, you know, they can't beat my mom. So it pushes me to train harder because I want them to continue seeing that strong female boxer in the ring, you know.
Are any of the other boxers parents?
Oh, yeah. Omari. Omari. Yeah.
Yeah, I have 3 kids. Yeah. Two girls and a boy. 6-year-old, 10-year-old, and 12-year-old. So we keep me pretty busy between activities and school, and we're helping them with schoolwork and all that kind of stuff. So they keep me pretty busy. And then they always want something. You know what I mean? and the activities are expensive. So
Yeah, 100%.
Do they motivate you
100%.
in boxing?
They do. Yeah, that's the only reason I was coming back to fight. Was for my kids. And they got to the age to where they, you know, can actually know what's going on. You know what I mean? And they wanted to see the fight, so I said I was going to come back and fight again for my kids. I plan on fighting for the GBO title too.
Hey, that's it.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Roberto Sapien for Boxeo Neutral and Audiophonic Competition. And my question is for Ray Rodis Cocoy. I understand, Ray, you came like immigrant here to United States, and you're the first Filipino guy doing boxing promotions in the United States. How are you building that dream inside of you? You know, how you do this?
Well, being the first Filipino boxing promoter in the United States doesn't, you know, I don't feel anything because what I'm doing is not for me. What I'm doing is for these kids. This is the real reason you don't see a lot of Filipinos here. Because I want the world to know that I am not a Filipino boxing promoter. I am a promoter for the people, and the people includes different ethnicity. So now, I'm bringing back Filipino on our next event. We will have Filipino on Pico Rivera on June 15, just because I am ready to embrace my people. Now I am ready to tell my people that there is a Filipino promoter here in the United States that will help you and gonna open the doors for you. But first, I open the doors to these kids that are right here in front of us right now. Because we want the world to see that this is not for the Filipinos. This is for everybody who wants to have an opportunity to fight for the title. And we are the gateway. We are small promotions right now, but we are trying to grow rapidly. We've been growing rapidly. We've done 3 international shows already for less than a year. We've done 4 professional fights here in the United States and 1 amateur bout here in the United States last December 8th. We did an amateur fight and we did a professional fight because I want to see the kids growing up and they know that red boxing is there for them. Unlike other promotional company, they want to have someone that is ready to fight for them. They want to have someone who's gonna make them money right there and then. Well, that's not red boxing. Red Boxing is here to help each and every one of us who are interested and be part of the boxing world. And boxing is not just about fighters. Boxing is all about media as well. You know, the media is here to send the message across around the world, the four corners of the world. We are here. Maybe on the next media conference, when they understand what we are trying to do, what we are trying to achieve here, there'll be more medias here. And we will welcome you and we love you so much.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you. Congratulations. And my second question is not question. It's only say congratulations to Red Boxing, GBO, and your fighters, Omari, Moreno, Temo, La Cobra. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations.
Next question.
Just one quick question. Can I call you Kakoy?
Yes.
Yeah, Kakoy. Anyway, this is concerning all the media that's here. We would like to know if we have to, if we need to cover any of your promoted fight, do we need any credential?
Yes, we do have a credential and we have a personnel that does that for us. Her name is Melody Soria. You can just email us to redboxinginternational@gmail.com and we will answer. We welcome all, most other boxing promoters, they limit media credentials. We don't. Because we want the word to be out there. If you have a few followers, who cares? You know? We have to grow together. And if you have few followers and you use Red Boxing as a platform for you to grow, I'm willing to give that to you. And if you have a big following and you're giving us the opportunity to grow with you, let's work together. There's nothing wrong with working together.
Let me just say that those who have already asked their 2 questions, if you've got more questions, you can ask more questions. All right, but if we have anybody new that would like to ask a question, would you please raise your hand? All right. Anybody want a second round? Okay, we got over here.
Second round.
I'm Thelma from the Filipino American Press Club of California. Thank you. I'm directing this to Ray. First, I congratulate you first for your outstanding achievement for so short a time from your inception of the Red Boxing promotion and the handling of the global boxing organization. My question is, you mentioned about helping boxers to secure U.S. visas. How do you qualify them to be under your wing here in the United States, and how do they support themselves to grow?
You know, that is a very good question, but we Asians work differently from American fighters. American fighters, they live with their parents or they live with their own and they work. You know, Filipino Asian fighters, they live with their manager. Okay, so number one, I'll answer your question, how are we gonna open the floodgate from Asia and give them visa to the United States? We're not only giving visa to the boxer, we're also giving visa to the trainer, we're giving visa to the managers. How? First, they have to win the title. Now when they become a world champion, Asian champion, because most Filipinos or most Asians, they just fight around Asia. They never had an opportunity to fight here in the United States. So now we send them invitation, we send them fight contracts that they're gonna challenge the champions here in the United States. And if we have a ranking system, and if we have a number 1 rank here, or a 1 to 10 rank that would like to challenge their title, then we can invite those fighters from Asia. I'm saying Asia because Indonesia, we're also opening Indonesia's door right now, Malaysia and Korea's door right now. And with Yuriko, we are opening Japan's door. So we are already talking about the Asian continent, not just the Philippines Although, we started from there, but it really spread so fast. So that's how we're gonna help them with their visa. So how are we gonna help them to stay here? Well, we are in a very unique position. This guy named Salvador Casillas, who has a gym in Linwood, was a big space behind his gym. We are gonna build the back for the Asian fighters who's gonna be here, so they don't have to spend a lot of money. They don't have to spend a lot of money on rent, like 1,300 rent, plus food, plus training. They could stay at the back. They could stay here for 6 months. They can fight three fights here in the United States. We send them back wherever they are in Asia. Then we bring them back here. And if they win 3 times, we can petition them through their P1 visa. And I have 2 fighters here, Reke Dulay and Ray Perez. We petitioned them. So they do have P1 visa right now. So now they can bring their family here. They can bring, their kids. And the more they win, their purchase is gonna grow. Once their purchase is gonna grow, they don't have to live behind that gym. That's how we're gonna help them.
Thank you, Ray. More power to you.
All right, who's next with a question?
Ray and Rod will still be here, like 2 minutes.
Nate Run, Fighter's Voice. This one's for Ray. How do you keep one-upping your shows? Like, every show you put on is better than the last one. The fights one, I think you can't get any better than this. It's like, oh crap, the crowd's on its feet. Like, Rodriguez just knocked Branch down for like the 3rd or 4th time, and they're still cheering. How do you do it?
The secret of a good promotion is you have to have a great matchmaker. Because the matchmaker makes the show. I have with Hayden on few of my shows, 3 shows. The last show I had Eddie Rodriguez. Both of them did a real good job, good matchmaking. So it's the people that work with you that makes what a promotional company is. With MR Production, was really good people around him. With Dell Records, we did it. We just do it.